Yeah.
Very good.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Tajudeen Alao is my name, and I am a player playing for Irving Table Tennis Club in Southeast around New Cross, and I play for Central London League. Today is the 18th of May 2022, and by my time now is 12. I have a special guest with me, and I hope he can introduce himself briefly. Please tell me a little bit about yourself, sir.
Okay, so my name is Stuart Sweeney. I was brought up in London, and I have been in the past a school teacher, teaching mathematics up to what was then A-level. I think it still is, isn't it? A-level mathematics. And then I became interested in applying maths to business problems. And I did a course at Imperial College in London. And then I joined a bank doing vaguely mathematical things. And then at one stage, I think I sort of painted myself into a corner a little bit. And then the bank and I happily waved each other goodbye, and so I've had a longer retirement than most people, and so fortunate for that. And one of the things I've been doing since then, I became very interested in ballet and dance, and I'm not quite as I'm not quite as obsessive about that as I once was, but I still review regularly, and I'm a member of the UK Critics Circle. Oh, so yeah, there we are. And I'm interested in politics and human rights. Wow. And so I'm like a little butterfly hopping from flower to flower, you know, too wide a range of interests, and wow. I'm on far too many committees. I'm on about 9 committees. So wow. There we go. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's me in a nutshell.
That's multitasking. Thank you so much. Before I start my main interview, sorry, you made mention of a mathematics teacher. So yeah. Basically, you are a mathematician or mathematician. Which one is it, sir?
Okay, I would not call myself a mathematician. Okay, I was never. Yeah, it's a very long story, but I certainly, one of the reasons for going into mathematics for business, okay, yes, is the mathematics is not very hard. Oh, and some of the people I taught. Yeah. They didn't have as much mathematical knowledge as me, but actually I could see that they actually had a greater mathematical ability than I did. Wow. So in some ways it's been interesting doing more stuff with the arts and literature and dance since I retired. So it's really exploring. Actually, I mentioned it, but when I retired, yes, I did a master's degree in dance studies. Okay. Writing essays rather than jumping around. So yes. So if you like, I sort of.
Okay. That's all right. Okay. Now let's come back to the main topic of the day. It's all about interview based on table tennis. I mean, table tennis. What I mean by table tennis is we have our bats and a ball. Okay, let's begin. Please, when did you start playing table tennis and your first club, please?
Okay, thank you. So I started playing basically at school, okay, but without any coaching. And I had a terrible grip, which meant that I could only play backhand, basically. And it was sort of half effective, but I remember once at a holiday camp playing a couple of people and beating them. And then I played a guy who actually knew how to play table tennis. And he sussed out that basically I didn't have a forehand. Wow. And we sort of played a little bit evenly for a few points. And then he just started putting it to my forehand. And of course, and that was it. You know, I was having to sort of run round and back and forth. So good. And so then I went to college. Okay. And they had a table tennis table there. and I changed my grip. I changed my grip to the conventional shake hands grip. And basically, I started every lunchtime, and sometimes after the college lectures, I would go and play table tennis. And then in my second year of college, I joined the table tennis club officially, and started playing for the college, and was captain of a team in Portsmouth Division 7 or 8, I think it was.
What year is that?
And, sorry?
What year is that? What year is that?
So that would be 67. 67. And so I stuck with that and worked my way through, and I actually ended up playing a few matches in Division 2 of the Portsmouth League. And so I was playing very regularly. And basically, then I left college, left Portsmouth, and went to teacher training college and played table tennis for the college there. And basically, whenever I moved around, I was playing in a team, and in Exmouth when I was a school teacher, and Exeter in 2 leagues, and then when I joined NatWest Bank, and was playing, interestingly enough, I was playing in the Banks League, not the current one, because the current one is a merger. For those who know about the other league in central London, the Banks and Civil Service League, the 2 leagues combined.
Together, So
I was playing in the Banks League when it was on its own, and I think there were about 5 or 6 divisions in those days. And I played there, but then my work got very tough in the city and took up a lot of time, and I decided I just had to let it go. So I had a brief break of some 26 years.
Wow, 26 years.
26 years. And then I went to see my doctor about something, and he said, "You're getting a bit fat." Or he said it much more nicely than that. He said, "You're a little overweight." I said, "Oh, well, I said, I tell you what, I used to play table tennis. Perhaps it would be a good idea." And I went along to a club, and this was in Old Street, run by Sanket. This was before Highbury, his previous club. And I started playing for Highbury in the Central League Division 3. And there we are. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great for you. Yeah. Have you ever captained any team before?
Well, basically, I've nearly always captained every team I played for, starting in Portsmouth. Certainly in Exmouth, also in Exeter. And when I joined the Banks, playing for NatWest in the Banks League, I played for 1 year, and then the second year they said, "Will you be captain?" And I said, "Yeah, okay." And so and then when I came back, I was playing in Division 3 with one of Sanket, and I was captain there. And I went to Highbury with Sanket, and I was captain there. And then I went to Morpeth and was being captain there.
Captain everywhere.
So me, mid-season, and we won't go into the details. I had to change clubs. I had to change clubs for who I was playing for, and so Sanket very kindly took me in again. He said, "And you'll be playing in Highbury 5. Oh, and by the way, would you captain the team as well?" So suddenly these people had someone dumped on them. And saying, "Well, I'm the captain now. You've got to do what I say." So it was a slightly strange circumstance. So basically, I've nearly always been captain.
That's great. That's great. But the thing is, why do you see you as the captain all the time? Is it like you are the elders, or you are very good in captaincy, or why always you as a captain? What are the criteria for being a captain in a club, please?
I think it's basically because no one else will do it. Okay. I mean, I was captaining the team in Morpeth, and I really didn't want to. But no one else would. And so in the end, it ended up, it had to be me doing it. So yeah, I don't mind being captain, sort of organizing, getting information, organizing teams. I did a bit of coaching when I was a school. I was a basic qualified coach, table tennis coach, and maybe try to give some advice to the players and encourage them in matches, but very much applauding both sides when they play good shots. I really don't like clubs where they only applaud their own players. I think that's really not the spirit of our level of table tennis. So I think that's about it really on captaincy.
Thank you.
Maybe I'm just a control freak. Maybe the truth is I'm a control freak and I just want to boss people about.
Because you deserve it or something like that. Okay, anyways. Now
under my thumb. That's it. Under my thumb. That's what I want.
You made mention of Central London League. When does it start, please? And what role are you playing at the moment?
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so Central London League, I think, goes back certainly, I think, to around 1950. On the old website, Bob Cool, who you may have come across, Bob Cool, on the committee and has been on the committee for much longer than I have, does terrific work for us in a number of areas. But he did a history of the league, and it's available on the old website. If you go to our website, I think there is a link to the old website tucked away. And he looked at one year in particular, which I think was in the 1950s when table tennis was at one of its high spots. And it was quite remarkable. There were something, I'm guessing. I think there was something like 20 leagues, 20 divisions, 20 divisions. And each division was divided into two. So there'd be 2A and 2B. Here we go. Yeah. And each division was divided up. And then at the end of the season, the top two teams in each of the two bits would play for the divisional charity. Now you're trying to find this link, yeah? So I think you need to look under information. Information over here on the top. Click on information. History of the look at history of the CO. Yeah, so Bob's done some nice work there. They shifted this across from the other side. It goes back. So it slumped down in about 2000. I've been there since about 2011, I think. But in 2000, it slumped down to 2 divisions, and they were talking about combining with the Banks and Civil Service League. And when I joined, it was 3 divisions. And before COVID, we were up to 7 divisions.
7 divisions, yeah.
And then post-COVID, we've gone into 5 divisions, but 5 divisions mainly with 11 or 12 teams. Like a lot of leagues only have sort of 8 or 9 teams in a division. So we remain one of the larger league in the country. I think it's partly because of clubs like Highbury and obviously Morpeth and Fusion, big clubs opening up in central London, and also the fact that we're an international city, and a lot of other countries enjoy table tennis and coach and encourage table tennis, maybe a bit more than the UK. And so we have the benefit of that from so many overseas players who play in the Central League. I remember once in one Morpeth team, I was the only person in the team born in the UK. Wow. That made me very happy. I was very happy to be part of a cosmopolitan, international, multicultural team. That's fine. That's like that very much.
That's fine. Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Apart from that, if a team or a club want to join maybe a central league, what are the process, please? Or what requirement do you normally demand for? At least
so we're always
go on.
Always delighted to have inquiries.
Okay.
And basically, we're Central London. And Bob Cool, who we've already mentioned, he's a government statistician. He's good at this sort of thing. And he wrote out a definition of his guidance for what we would have as Central London. In a nutshell, it's the nearest station is in zones 1 or 2.
Okay.
On Transport for London, and 45 minutes journey time, including public transport and walking from Holborn Underground in the centre.
Okay.
To the club, basically 45 minutes, and also no more than 15 minutes from the nearest station to the club.
The club. Okay.
So and I think some of and the clubs, those are a guidance, and if there is a club where one of those criteria doesn't quite match, we may be able to do something. But we had an inquiry from a strong club who recognized the opportunities of playing in the Central League, but they were out in zone 4. But they said, but we have an excellent train service, and the club is right next door to the train station, so it would be very easy. But the general feeling was, well, no, it doesn't meet the criteria. And what happens if the trains aren't running? How are people going to get there or get back? Worst of all, late at night, sort of facing a sort of 90-minute bus journey or something. So it was decided, no, sorry guys, good luck with finding another league. That it's not for us.
That's great.
And then we would somebody from the committee would go and make an inspection to look at the tables, the space, and lighting, to see that it had some sort of minimum. Standards in the Central London Table Tennis League are not of the highest quite often. There's no avoiding that, and I think that is accepted. And I know some of the Division 1 players, and occasionally people will say, I think this club shouldn't be playing in Division 1 because the conditions are not good enough. And when we said, well, we'll ask the other clubs, and the other teams in Division 1 said, yes, the conditions are rubbish, but we wouldn't want to throw them out of Division. We want to be honest, they said most of the venues are rubbish in Division 1. So but we'd go and make an inspection. There was I will share one interesting I think it's interesting little anecdote. I went to inspect one place in a sort of they're no longer playing in the league, but it was basically an investment house. So plenty of money, and the social area had this beautiful carpenter-made furniture, including a table tennis table. Whoa. So this was a handmade table tennis table, that they had. And so the first thing, so not ITTF recognized, as we normally do. So the first thing I had to do was measure it. To see whether, and yes, it did actually comply with the standards. It was made out of beautiful wood. It was a pale wood color everywhere to match the rest of the things. And I played, and so I said, well, we better play on this and see what it's like. And I thought, well, actually, it plays rather true. It's very slow. It's slow. Very slow. It's going a bit far. It's slow. And maybe because I'm a pretty defensive player, so I thought, oh, this actually suits me quite well. And I thought, yeah, come on, we normally say it should be sort of, ITTF recognized. But I said, no, it's okay. And occasionally we get complaints from people saying this is not and they were playing in the bottom division, by the way. They were playing in the bottom division. And I said, well, is it really so bad? and there we are. So and there's another club who remain nameless, and and they got a table. They wanted to get a table, and there were various possibilities. But I saw that on Sports Direct, you know, they had a Carlton table tennis table, not ITTF recognized, but with a sort of 20 centimeter or 22 centimeter top, so pretty good, and it was only about 350 quid.
Wow.
So I said I think get that one, and someone else backed me up on that, and they said yeah, it plays fine, and haven't had any complaints about that. So we try to be flexible,
that's
within
good. That's
sort
good.
of some sort of, you know, minimum level,
at least to get people on board, isn't it?
that's it. Yeah.
Okay, now for Central London League, where do you think the season normally start and normally end, please? The season.
What starting times and stuff?
Yes, please, for the season, yes.
Oh, for the season, right? Okay,
Yes,
beginning of October.
Okay.
And it runs through basically to the end of March.
Okay, to the end
and
of
then
March.
After that, we have a handicap competition.
Okay.
And teams can enter. It doesn't have to be exactly the same teams as played in the league.
Okay.
It can, you know, teams are sometimes combined. And whereas we might have, like this season, I think we had around, let's see, we had about 58 teams, I think, something like that in the league. And I think 16 teams applied for the handicap. Other people want to go off and do something else, and that's fine. Or teams combined and so on. We have a handicap competition, and I've played in various handicap competitions around the leagues. And I have to say, this one, again, it's Bob Cool. Bob Cool devised the system. It's slightly more complicated than some of the other systems, but it's terrific. And it means that Division 5 players can beat Division 2 and Division 1 players. It really does happen. And Division 1 teams don't usually take part because they don't often win. It's a terrific, you know, and I was in a Division 3 team that won it about 3 or 4 years ago. So it's a terrific, I think the handicap competition is excellent.
It's excellent. Apart from handicap, what other competition do you have in Central London?
So I said again,
apart from Central London League and apart from handicap, is there any other competition within Central London?
So there's the Banks and Civil Service League.
Okay.
Which has now 2 divisions.
Okay.
And it's shrunk in size, and quite a lot of, in fact, nearly all of the players in the Central League play in the Banks and Civil Service League. There's not much to do with banks or the civil service anymore, although 1 or 2 are sort of old bank teams or old civil service teams. But I've played in both in the first division, and it's getting a bit tough up there. So I'm now playing in Division 2 of the Banks and Civil Service League. There's the North Middlesex League, and I've played in that in the past, but it means you quite often don't get home till midnight because they start at 7:30. So Central London matches tend to start at 6:30. People go directly from their work or their homes there. I think the North Middlesex people go home first and then go. So the matches start at 7:30.
7:30. Okay.
And so they go on. They quite often go on till 10:30 or even 11.
That's good.
I live in Central London, so it's a long way back.
My next question. Thank you so much. My next question is all about experience. Do you think experience matters in table tennis? But before you answer this question, please let me quickly share this with you. Maybe you remember this. I'll play it for a few minutes.
Two wonderful players in action. Yeah.
Okay, please. To
send it to Table Tennis England, sort of coaching advice. You know, here's the way to do it. Okay.
Okay. I hope you remember that player.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen a video of myself playing. Okay?
Look at that.
And straight away I'm thinking, bend those bloody knees, get down. You're too upright. You're too upright.
Okay, my point is, when I finish the match, when I get home, then I normally watch the clips or maybe the video. I watch it with my kids, and they said to me, "Why did you allow this man to win you?" I said, "He's a great, I can play, but the thing is, this man is an experienced man. If you look at him, the way he plays me, look at the way he plays. He doesn't move as such, but because of the experience." Now, they now ask me, "Does experience matters on table tennis?" And I said, "Don't worry, I'll keep that question for you until I meet him." So, do you think experience matters in terms of table tennis?
Yes, I think it does, and I can give an example of that.
Okay.
We have juniors playing in the Central London Table Tennis League, yeah.
Okay.
And when we can maybe talk about that a bit more later on. But in terms of experience,
okay,
even at that level with juniors, their coach, one of their coaches said to me, "My players do very well when we go away to junior tournaments and so on." And when other coaches say, "How is it that your players do so well?" He said, "It's because of the experience they get in the Central London Table Tennis League, playing old people like Sweeney, playing different styles and having to cope with different styles and how to adjust and identify weak points and exploit those, rather than always topspin, 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 backhand, forehand, topspin, and yes, okay, but no, having to deal." So yes, I think experience and thinking about the game perhaps is really very important. And sometimes you think someone's got really good technique, but they've got one or two weaknesses, and then you can sort of think about how to exploit those. What are the weaknesses, and identifying that. And I think that experience sort of helps with that.
Okay, thank you so much for answering that, because I'm going to go back to them and tell them. Okay, the next question is about when there is any issue, maybe in the club, and this issue is regards to maybe league. So how do we report, and how do you deal with any issue?
Okay, so this certainly happens, and to be honest, probably half a dozen times in the season.
Okay.
Matters will be raised with us, and how does that happen? Normally, it would go to either the divisional secretary,
okay,
or it might come to me as the league secretary.
Okay.
And then I would normally consult with a couple of the divisional secretaries or other people to get their thinking. And it might be that I can just go back to the club then and say, well, this is our initial thoughts on this. But it may be that we have to go to the full committee.
Okay.
And it's actually, we have an AGM, an annual general meeting, once a year. We tend not to have committee meetings, but when there is a matter that needs a committee decision, we do it by email.
Okay.
So we quite often, I will send maybe a dozen times a season if we want to decide about a complaint or a conflict that has arisen between two clubs, or if it's just what should we do about the handicap or whatever, or the tournament, which we're not holding this year. People wanted to rest. They've been doing it for so long. So again, having to go out to the committee and ask for their views. And then it's a democratic position as to what the voting is. Okay,
excellent reply. Thank you so much. I have got two more to go. Sorry about that. So second to the last question is, what advice do you have for the club or the team in Central London?
What advice do I have? Okay, I think basically do what you can for your venue in terms of, do we need new nets? Do we need more barriers to improve the quality of the play? Do we need more chairs? Can we get more chairs? And this is all very good. And I think play competitively and play to win, but play in a good spirit. It's always nice if it's a nice atmosphere, and it's not always that way. But we do actually have, if you look at the end of the Central London Table Tennis League rules, we say we want matches to be conducted in a friendly fashion, and if things have not been that way, then please tell us this, and we will investigate. And we do get complaints about this is made. And I mentioned it already before, but I'm very keen, if I'm there supporting one of the teams and sort of encouraging our players, but I will also be applauding the other side when they play well. And certainly if the other side win the match, I will be applauding and telling them well done, and really trying to. And it was interesting, I was at a veterans match, and I think maybe we run out of time, but we could talk about veterans table tennis.
Please go ahead,
which is very interesting. But anyway, so yes, in a good spirit. Okay, veterans quickly. One of the great things, so one of your questions earlier we talked about was, is it for anybody anywhere? And the answer is yes. Okay. And the beautiful thing is about table tennis, and on the ITTF website, they say table tennis is a game for your whole life. And it really is, because I was in a school in Devon when I was teaching, and there was a young 12-year-old who was brilliant. He was #1 under 13 in England. I didn't coach him, someone else did. But when he was 12, he was Devon men's champion.
Wow.
Now you think about tennis, badminton, squash. There is no way a 12-year-old could be the champion of the county, of Devon County. Okay. Wow. Table tennis, because it's about technique and movement over short distances. Yeah, he was the winner. On the other end of the scale, I go to veterans competitions, and I sometimes next month I'm going to the European Veterans Championship. Anyone can go. Wow. There'll be 3,000 old codgers and codgerettes playing table tennis in different age groups. Yeah. And I'm delighted to say I have just had my 75th birthday. Wow. So I move up into the over 75s now. I don't have to play these young 70-year-olds anymore. I'll just be playing over 75. But there's over 90s. Wow. And they're still there playing, and it's keeping them going because apparently one of the things about table tennis is the interaction of brain and body, brain, eyes, body. And apparently this is very good for you and for sort of pushing off some of the impact of old age. And it's great to watch these 90+ people. So my dream, fingers crossed, is to be playing in the over 90s. That would be really great.
Definitely. I think I don't need to ask these next questions again, because you have answered everything together in terms of a veteran, so which is quite okay for me. But the last question is about AGM. When is the next AGM, and what sort of discussion you normally have there?
Okay, thank you. So we'll hold the AGM. We haven't set a date yet, probably in July. Okay. And what we will do is we will talk about the season and good points and not so good points. We'll look at the schedule for the 2022-23 season. Okay. And whether we need to make any changes to that and the order of doing things and how we do things. We'll look at the rules. A lot of clubs, a lot of leagues leave their rules in place for a very long time. We seem to sort of fiddle around with ours quite regularly.
Okay, review. Yeah.
I think the one rule change that we introduced about 4 or 5 years ago
Okay.
And I have to say, I think it's probably my best contribution to the Central League.
Yes.
I noticed on the 365 website, when I was looking through it,
Okay.
there was a facility for having junior teams
Okay.
who only played at home. And I thought, gosh, that's a really good idea, because in central London,
Yeah.
you know, you've got the journeys, long journeys in midweek, and then and you always have parents complaining. And so we introduced the concept of having a junior teams under 18 at the start of the season, we said, and they play their matches at home.
At home, okay.
And if you have 2 junior teams, we say a maximum of 2 in a division. And obviously, if they're playing each other, they've got to sort something out, and they can do that.
Okay.
But the coaches say this is great. And I think last season, I think we had 5 junior teams. But whenever I speak to the people, they say this is such a great idea.
There is.
I'm not sure that we could have these people playing in the league. And it's usually Fridays, and so it's not a school day the next day. And if it's played on 2 tables, it can be finished 8:39, and they're home, and everyone is happy. But so yeah, so I think that's so that was a rule we introduced. We also have tried to have a rule about people playing in rank order, and we have this, again, a slightly unusual rule. I think it was me as well on that one, which is we have this rule that you can play up 3 times.
Okay, maximum
3 times. Okay. And most leagues have something like that. But what some clubs were doing was putting a player in a lower team.
Okay.
And then using them in 2 teams, basically. Using them in the lower team to win matches, and then also using them in a higher team 8 times. And then at the end of that, they would say, "Oh yes, and we're re-registering him in the higher team." And I remember once, I think the thing which sparked this idea was my team was trying to get promotion from Division 3 to Division 2.
Okay.
And there was a team from a club which we won't mention.
Okay.
And what happened was they had a good new player who was really Division 2 standard, but was put in Division 3, and he was put in the team at the bottom of Division 3 to try and stop them being relegated.
Okay.
But then was also playing for a higher team. He had 3 matches, so we had to play this guy twice in half a season. Wow. We played him in the lower team and the other team. And he won. Definitely it was touch and go. And in the end, I remember I was playing a guy in the final match of the season, and we had to draw this match in order to go up, be in the top 2 of the division. And of course it was in the days we were playing up to 11. And I beat this guy in the 5th, 24-22.
Wow, 24-22.
And so that meant we had drawn the match.
Wow. So that's a good one. That's a good one.
That was really very tough. But yeah, that's when we decided, right, we would say, if we identify that someone is playing out of rank order, they can play out of rank order. They could be mentoring players. They could be playing with their friends, but they're starred, they're giving a star, and they can only play in that team. They can't play up.
That's it. That's a good one.
You can't double count. And it doesn't always work, and sometimes maybe this year people will ask for a change to that rule, but we'll see.
Okay, but we will see. We will see. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, effort, and everything about table tennis. I know people out there, for those who didn't play table tennis, they need to start now. This is a lesson for us all, that table tennis is for everyone. As he said, it's for everyone. It's for everyone. It's for everyone. As he said, it's about 76 now, and he never plays what? He never stopped playing table tennis. He continue. Okay, I don't know when it's going to stop anyway. And again, your name for the purpose of who are going to be watching this interview later, please.
Stuart Sweeney.
As you said, I am still remain Tajudeen Alao. I play for Irving Table Tennis Club, Southeast. Do you have a club now?
I'm a member of 2 clubs. I'm a member of Highbury, and I'm still a member of Morpeth Table Tennis.
Wow! So what division are you playing for Highbury?
Say again, sorry.
What division are you playing for Highbury?
Division 3.
Division 3. Okay.
I won about 40% last year, but wow. I only played one of the top teams once. So
once.
I knew that I was the weakest player, maybe the weakest player in the team. I played the good people against the strongest team.
That's
so I managed to get 40%. So I could
that's not bad.
Not too bad. Not too bad. I usually win one.
At least.
Occasionally 2.
At least.
The top teams I would win 0. Top teams I would win 0.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm not going to take your time anymore. I'm going to see you maybe some other time when we invite you. I hope you're going to answer us.
Very good. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and good luck. Good luck with your enterprises.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.